Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Um, so happy to be back here. We do this once a month on the first Wednesday of every month between 3:30 and 3:45 or so. So I kind of wanted to talk about fear and its impact on diseases. So you must have been hearing about it, seeing news about it, about coronavirus, about it becoming a pandemic soon, and so on and so forth. So, I kind of wanted to touch on that today for sure, because it's something that has been creating a lot of panic among people. Every day I open my phone, and there is a few people who actually spread more panic, forward everything that they think is going to be useful to other people. Sometimes it's information, sometimes it's actually more fear and panic, and more worry, more concern. And people talk about, oh, what are we going to do? How are we going to take care of this? How are we going to prevent this? And so on and so forth. So, this kind of panic and this kind of fear, is this really necessary to prevent an infection, a pandemic, or an epidemic? Or just action alone without fear is necessary? Have you ever thought about it? Do we just come to the conclusion that if there is something going on, that we need to panic, that we need to be fearful? Have we come to that point? Or do we question and say, okay, I don't really need to be afraid, but I can take action for sure, right? So, what are the things that we can do to prevent, right? So, there is few things that you can do to prevent, which is, oh, right here, this. I'm drinking my green smoothie. So the green smoothie is a nutrient-dense food, and it actually has plenty of greens, plenty of nutrients, seeds, and some fruits to make it palatable. So this is something that can actually help us keep our digestive system strong, our immune system strong, our body strong and nourished, so that we can prevent it. What other things can we do? We can actually be practicing good hygiene, right? And we can also have certain kinds of things that helps us boost our immune system, like vitamin C, zinc, elderberry, echinacea, holy basil tincture. These are some of the things that we can keep at hand that can be helpful. But the kind of fear and panic. So, one thing that I want everyone to be reminded of is that we don't need to be afraid, because there is actually an impact of fear on our body that causes the immune system to weaken and make us become more prone to problems. So, our fear doesn't really help us take just action, it actually makes us prone to an infection. I don't know if you have ever experienced this, or if you have seen other people experience this. There are some people who are afraid of certain kinds of illnesses, or they're afraid of getting a flu, for example, or they're afraid of germs. Okay, and these are the kinds of people who will actually get the flu or who will get sick more often. Have you ever noticed that? So the reason why is, when we have these kinds of fear, we are of course constantly focusing on what we need to prevent, that from happening, what we need to do. But it's not necessarily something that's empowering us, but just something that we do to clean, just something that we actually do to avoid, and so on and so forth, but not really keep this body strong. So if you think about any country's defense, most countries do not go, on war with other countries just to protect themselves. Most countries protect themselves by keeping their defense strong, but they will not actually go to war with every single person or every single country just to protect themselves. And that is true for a human body as well. We need to keep our defenses strong so that viruses and bacteria don't have any hold on us, don't have any power on us. If you think about it for a minute, right, let's just put things in perspective. So we have trillions of cells, right? And out of these trillions of cells, there are so many that are actually functioning at such a complex level. And we are afraid of unicellular. I can't even say unicellular because viruses are pretty much a non-living thing. They can only multiply in a host. They are not living by itself. They cannot reproduce outside of a host. So we are actually afraid of something that's one-celled and pretty much dead without our help. We are afraid of them. We are afraid of bacteria. We are afraid of viruses. We are afraid of everything outside of us. But we are not really taking control of this body that we can take control of. Because no matter how much you're afraid of, right? The coronavirus or any virus, even the flu, anything that you're afraid of, that in itself isn't going to prevent the infection. Only the action prevents an infection. So from today, I hope that every single one of us, kind of take an oath to not spread fear and panic about these kinds of things. If we get a message, if it's something that is useful, if there is an action plan involved in it, then it's good to take, kind of pass it forward. But if it does not involve any action plan, but it actually only is going to create fear and more of a panic, then let's not forward these messages. Let's not circulate this. The more and more and more we are afraid of it, the more we are actually inviting it into our life, because our bodies are not strong in fear. They are just not. That's just how it works. Because immune system is pretty much reliant upon your adrenals, your stress hormones. And when your body is stressed, when you are in fear and panic, your body produces a lot of stress hormones. And these stress hormones actually depresses the immune system. And that happens, yes, a virus or a bacteria or anything can actually take over. And now we have a problem. Now we have an illness that we were afraid of. So another thing that I want to talk about here was not just the coronavirus. So definitely some of the recommendations that I gave: drink plenty of water, eat nutritious foods, try not to eat, junk as much, have healthy hygiene, drink clean water, take vitamins, if so, like vitamin C, vitamin D. Those are some things that can actually help. Zinc, these are things that can help. Do these kinds of things, but don't be afraid. Absolutely, Kiran, I agree with you. Yes, it's not about not doing anything. That's not what I'm actually advocating as well here. I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm saying do everything, but do not consume what you have been given. Like, if you turn on the TV now, if you look at the news, if you look at any group that you're in, this is what has been, literally being circulated every single day. I at least get 4 or 5 messages every day. And my issue with that is that people are actually going literally in a panic mode because of how much information that they are getting from this, and it almost sounds much worse than what it is. And this is also true. When we had the flu season, a lot of people actually told us in our office that, oh, I had the flu. And I would ask them, did you actually get tested for flu? And they would say no, but I just knew I had the flu. And I'm like, how did you know? How long did it last? How much was the fever? Oh, my fever was, like 101 or so. And that's not usually common with cold. And so I'm just assuming it's a flu. Or they will say that, oh, another person had flu in my office, or my kid had flu, so I must have flu, and so on and so forth. So a lot of times statistically they increase the number of flu by people who are actually self-reporting that they had the flu, even though most people don't even know whether they had the flu or not. So this is one thing to notice, because a lot of times statistics are like that. Especially when we are in a panic mode, we don't necessarily look at the real data. We think, oh my God, if somebody has similar symptoms, they must have this, and that's it. This is the end of the world. So let's really take some time, analyze, and do everything in our power to prevent, but not panic. Is there anything we can take prophylactically? So definitely eating better, reducing sugar, drinking more water. So keeping us nutritionally nourished is going to be the key, and also moving, because exercise also helps us detoxify. And warm water helps us also flush out things so that our body is as clean as it can be. Our defense mechanism is as strong as it can be so that it can actually get rid of it. So other things, as I mentioned about the vitamins, those are some things that you can take. And in homeopathy, we have had in the past, there have been so many epidemics that have been controlled by homeopathy. Okay, and this has actually been, pretty much noted in many different ways, and there has been a lot of, you know, um, information out there about it. So what we would want is that once it does come here, or if it does come here, then we will actually want what we call as a globus epidemicus. What that means is the viruses have a certain characteristics that it produces in those patients. Their symptoms are very similar. If once those symptoms are actually established in that population, or this is the symptoms that we commonly see, then we can actually come up with a globus epidemicus, and that will be that can be prophylactically given to anybody, and that will actually help prevent you from getting a coronavirus. So I also wanted to talk about how this fear that we have is not only just for this coronavirus, but so many other things that we see. So many people actually have thyroid diseases. So many people have adrenal issues. So many people have sleep issues, kidney problems, women issues, hormonal issues, and so on and so forth. And all of these things can be caused by fear and worry. So let's make a pact to ourselves that we are going to take some time every day to strengthen this mind. We actually exercise to strengthen our body. We eat nourishing foods to strengthen this body. What do we do to strengthen our mind? How can we actually get rid of this fear, right? We are all told constantly so many things. We are told to be afraid. We are told to be worrying. We are told that this is normal. And this is the reason why we are all afraid. And this is the reason why we worry, because we think worry means love. And love means worry. If there is something going on, we need to worry about it. And we don't. This does not really empower us in any ways. It does not help us stay healthy. It just does not. So let's take time to strengthen this mind. Tell ourselves that our bodies are strong. And they are. It is made up of trillions of cells. It can absolutely conquer and defeat a virus or a bacteria. So our bodies are strong. I'm not making this up. Even if you've gotten sick in the past, let's actually make our new mantra that our bodies are strong, that our bodies are healthy, and our bodies are capable of taking care of any virus or bacteria. Let's make this our mantra from today. Instead of saying, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. And let's say that my family is going to be healthy. My family is going to be strong. My family is stronger than any virus or bacteria. Let's have this mantra from here going forward and see the kind of energy that you create. See the kind of thought process that you create. See how it affects your loved ones and yourself. And see that you are going to become stronger because your body is now equipped with strength, not only just in the body, but also in the mind, that it can conquer anything. Because, this flu season, right? So many people have come to our office with flu. So if this is the case, that, it is going to affect all of us, if, a virus is going to conquer us, then every single one of us in our family should have gotten the flu. And we did not. Why? I know that my body is stronger than a flu virus. And I can be around people with flu, and the flu virus cannot touch me. I know it. And of course, my body has been such a great comrade with me. It's actually been fighting with me, any of those things. And I've seen so many patients with flu, and nothing has happened to me. And my kids, of course, I touch them, I play with them, and so on and so forth right after I come back from the work, and they haven't gotten any of those things as well. So let's not assume that our bodies are literally accidents waiting to happen. It's not. Our bodies are so much stronger than that. Our bodies can actually withstand so much, which means that we need to be able to have that trust and faith and give it the nourishment that it needs and let it do its job. And I promise you, it will not let you down. So if any of you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. The questions can be typed in the comment section. Okay, so I'm going to end this Facebook Live today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do join us April 1st week, first Wednesday. And today I want to end with, we are healthy, we are strong, and there is nothing that can take us down. Okay, so let's, yes, Kiran, it is a green smoothie. So let's, stay strong internally as well as in our minds, as well as in our body, and we'll get through this together. Okay, take care. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.